Hello everyone, from Tony, the Scarred Ghost. In this video I'm going to tell you everything about my experience at VR AR Expo China, if the event was worth it, and what has been the current trends in China that I could discover from that event. So, let's start. First of all, just a lot of curiosity. You may notice this weird illumination and this cool balcony, but everything here is fake. I'm in an underground hotel currently in Hangzhou. These are plastic fans, and the sun is fake. It's just a lamp on top with a fake sky. That's crazy thing that you can discover here in this country. And I went to Hangzhou, came here to do some meetings after my stay in Shanghai to attend the VR AR Expo China. So how was this event? You may be curious about. So first of all, just as a disclaimer, I had my hotel in Shanghai paid by organizers of the event, but they didn't pay for other things like the trip or other stuff. You may expect a completely honest opinion about it, as usual on my channel. So I thought, first of all, that was worth for me going there. I think the VR AR Expo China is poised to be an important event about XR in China. Probably could become the AWE of China over the years. Of course, currently it's smaller, and since we are in a down period for XR, of course, it's not becoming bigger and bigger. But still, it's bigger than last year, 30% more exhibitors. Still, there were some interesting stuff that I was able to try there. The organizers are doing their best to make everyone happy, and they have a very good attitude. I think there is good possibility of this event to grow a lot. So, but of course, this takes time. AWE didn't start as AWE as it is now. It started as a small event that grew up over more than 10 years. So, this needs more time to become bigger. But I like it because people about it are passionate while building this event, and they are making the most to spread the voice about it. When I was speaking with companies in China, even the ones that didn't attend it knew about this event. Say, okay, I'm not attending it because I don't find the value for this, and that. But they knew about that and considered it. And when I was at the expo, I was able to find a few interesting things to try and to write an article about. So it's not just, go to some events and you really need to work a lot to find one thing that you may talk about in your blog. So this was really good, in my opinion. And also they had a VIP dinner where you can connect with other people. They gave me a translator so they could interact with Chinese companies and so on and so on. So I think it's a very good event. If I have to give some negative feedback, probably it's exactly the one that it's very difficult to speak with companies if you don't speak any Chinese. I speak a bit. I had the translator, so I was able to have some interactions. But if you really want to go there and just speak English, it's going to be a problem. For the rest, it's, as I said, it's still not huge. So you go there a couple of days, but if you expect like AWE that you want to have hundreds of companies exhibiting, probably not. It's not that ready yet. Anyway, quite interesting. The event was worth it. The other thing probably was a bit of drawback. The war ceremony was so long. But this happens also at AWE, they don't give out. And when I was like saying, okay, I want to go away, actually I got an award myself, so I'm pretty happy about this. Thanks for the jury. They selected me XR Influencer of the Year. Yeah, so that's good news for me. But stop talking about me. What are instead the biggest trends that I've seen at this event? Probably one of the most interesting one that I've seen has been Gravity XR. Gravity XR is a chip maker in Shanghai which makes chips dedicated to AR and VR, and they have this new chip, the X100, which is dedicated to lightweight PCMR headsets. And companies like DPVR, which in China is called something like Dirtboon, are already using this reference design with a chip of Gravity XR to create a very lightweight PCMR headset that can connect with PC and can connect with Android phones. I tried a Gravity XR reference design, very lightweight, the resolution was cool, the pass-through had a good definition, so very promising. And it's also quite interesting to see that this company is a bit establishing now in China, like the Qualcomm of PCMR. It's kind of an unexpected trend, something new and quite interesting. So now we have to see next year when like DPVR should announce this headset launch at CES, hopefully. If this headset will be cheap enough in a way and will deliver with good quality, because currently they are still prototypes, I think we can have something incredibly interesting happening. Because super lightweight PCVR headset connect also with the phone, that's something great. So second trend, smart glasses. I mean, I'm not saying anything new, but smart glasses everywhere. Smart glasses with display, smart glasses without displays, smart glasses with monochrome displays, smart glasses with color displays, smart glasses with waveguides, smart glasses with non-waveguides, whatever. Really a lot of companies making smart glasses and components for smart glasses like waveguide displays. Smart glasses, the hype is high and they're everywhere. And China is great at making hardware. So, and once there is a trend, bam, dozens of Chinese companies are making that. We'll see when, the technology will be more mature, how many of these companies will actually survive with their glasses. We still don't know. China is like that, dozens of companies competing, and then a few survive and make good products. So we have still to investigate, but smart glasses are big also there. And together with smart glasses, AI. AI, China is a country of DeepSeek, of now there is the new one, which I forgot the name, like Kiwi. I forgot the name for a second, sorry for that. I guess it was Kimi. Alibaba Quen. There are a lot of AI models. And when speaking with companies about VR, they say the same. They say companies in the US and the rest of the world. Now the trend here is AI. And so most of them are working also on how to integrate AI, how to work with AI, how to make classes with AI, etc., etc. That's not surprising. The world looks all the same now. Everyone looking at smart glasses and AI. Other trend, which is not a surprise, location-based VR. This year there were like 4, maybe or 5 booths with large-scale location-based VR. This is a big trend in China. China never had a Quest moment. They don't have basically a domestic market for VR. They have a culture of going to the mall, finding a place where with friends they can play VR and that's it. But they don't have only, the sandbox VR model of location-based. Like you go with 10 friends, you shoot each other and that's it. You have also these big rooms where everyone enters, puts a headset and try its own experience. You see the others at white halos in VR, so you know how to dodge them, not to touch other people. And then you live your experience, which can be educational. You move for 1 meter, you hear something about the pyramids, you touch one object, then you have to move 2 meters on the other side, touch another object, something very lightweight in a way, location-based, many people together in the room, everyone enjoying independently their experience mostly. And there were booths about that basically everywhere. So that's another trend. And then I will say probably the last thing, which I don't say it's a trend for China in general, but something that I was interested about, and I found result has been the fact that a few companies are working on HoloLens substitute. Many companies acquire the HoloLens or the Magic Leap. Now I have a problem. If the device breaks, they cannot buy a new one. There are no new HoloLens, there are no new Magic Leaps. So, and there are no companies making something similar. This time, for the first time in China, I found 2 companies working on something similar. One is called Exvisio, which has 2 bird bath AR headsets, which are quite expensive. I will write about them soon on my blog, but like more than $4,000 US. But the definition is pretty cool. And then another company, I forgot the name, but it's like I will probably put a link in the description. It's like Jisho, something like that. And they are making basically a waveguide. They are 6 of headsets. The 5 is a bit small, but seems very intriguing also because the cost is around 1,500 US dollars. So this is not a big trend. I mean, it was just 2 booths or something like that, but still was something that I found interesting, and should interest also companies outside of China, because I know many companies working on something like that. And probably if I have to find one last thing that surprised me, I found more companies making content than I expected. You know, when people ask what's the difference between China and the West, everyone says China is about hardware, the West is about content. But I have to say, actually, there is also some content made by Chinese companies, mostly for location-based VR, but also for other things. Maybe they try to sell abroad on the Quest or Pico Store and stuff like that. So actually, it's not only hardware, it's also content. Of course, hardware is probably what they do better. Content sometimes can be a bit rough around the edges, but still, it's interesting that there are people also believing they could do great content in China. In general, it was interesting to see that there are many people still passionate about VR also in China. Of course, as I said, the trend is not great, and the focus of everyone is AI. But I guess it's the same like here and in Italy or in US. And I guess things will get better when we'll have new generations of headsets. So basically, that's it. This is the most interesting things I found about the event. Uh, if you have questions about things that I'm experiencing here, I'm going to stay in China for another 10 days. I'm going to have meetings, so ask for more impressions, more feedback about the market, etc. Probably I'll write up to you about that as well. Ask them in the comments. I will try to find an answer. Probably will make another video with lessons learned or something like that. For now, Tony, the fake balcony, my real award. Probably other people will that deserve it, but I don't care. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you find it useful. If this is the case, like, subscribe, give me money on Patreon, send me big hugs, and I wish you an amazing day in the area. Bye bye.